Go, Bennings, I gotta get some sleep.
So last October I watched John Carpenter's The Thing, the movie that gained a cult following with my siblings. Again, a great movie, fantastic movie. But after watching the movie, an idea went through my mind. How would each alien from Ben's arsenal would handle the Thing? I mean, think about it, it's a cool idea. The guy that is one of everyone versus the creature that makes everyone one of it. I've decided on making a video on it. In this video, we will break it down to 3 scenarios. Scenario A, Scenario B, and Scenario C. Scenario A will have Ben take the role of McCready, except he's stuck in a chosen alien and can't change forms. The scenario starts early in the film, and he has to work with the crew as well. Scenario B will have Ben and the Thing at random locations around the station. They are the only ones there, equipment are around, and Ben has to either track down and kill the Thing or escape the station to alert humanity of its existence. Finally, Scenario C, which is simply a pure test of skill, power, and effort to see if Ben has what it takes to kill the Thing inside a cube with the alien's powers alone. Oh, and reminder, I'm only talking about Ben's aliens, as in individually how would they handle it, not Ben himself with his arsenal of aliens, as that would be a total cakewalk. I would be ranking each scenario with its own system. Scenario A has win, likely to win, support, won't do much, and unless. Win is defeating the Thing with little to no casualties. Likely to win is high possibility of defeating the Thing, but could lose or defeat the Thing with casualties. Support is if the alien cannot kill the Thing on his own, so he have to provide support to the crew, or have to use the flamethrower. Won't do much is like it says, the alien cannot do much in the situation and will be not much use. And useless is if the aliens are not only useless, but is actually a liability. Scenario B has win, likely to win, survive, likely to lose, and lose. All of them are straightforward, with survive being if Ben cannot kill or defeat the Thing, he has to survive and escape the station without getting assimilated. And scenario C is straightforward, with draw simply being neither Ben or the Thing can kill each other. So let's get started. Scenario A, when. Much of a cakewalk it is for Heatblast to destroy the Thing. Not only can he effectively kill the Thing, but he's immune to infection due to being a plasma-based entity and therefore generating intense heat. Therefore, there's no way a single cell of the Thing can survive and infect him. The only problem with Ben would face, which is important and a prevalent one, which we will see later on, is knowing who's the Thing and who's not. One way Ben could solve this problem is to simply cut to all the crew members of the crew, not severely. Simply shooting a fire blade at them would be enough to rat out the Thing, since every cell is conscious within the Thing, and someone even go against the higher whole for their own survival. As the smaller pieces that the Thing becomes, the less intelligent it becomes, down to its own functional primary instincts that we had to rely on for single cells. And once, or simply do a blood test, which, surprise surprise, McCready uses heat from the flamethrower to do it. So it's not a matter of if Heatblast can beat the Thing, it's only when. Scenario B is a win. As a matter of fact, it's easier since he doesn't have to worry about other crew members. It would just be simply him checking down the thing and burning him. Scenario C is also a win, as he can simply kill a fire, so we're just gonna go and move on to the next one. Wildmutt Scenario A Support. Knowing the fates of those huskies in the movie, a lot of people are not confident that Wildmutt will put a win in this situation. When the thing posed as a husky entered the den with the other huskies, none of them could tell that the husky in front of them wasn't one of them until the thing revealed itself, meaning that the thing can mimic scent. So Wildmutt's abilities of scent is essentially unreliable at detecting the imposters, as well as not having any other means of killing the thing, since being in contact with it will be an immediate assimilation. He also can't not speak, so communication is very limited. But it's not entirely over for Wildmutt, because from the movie and this video you will learn the greatest advantage when against enemies like the thing is intel. Intel will be the defining factor of most of these aliens. While Ben cannot detect the thing, he can still detect the locations of everyone at the station simultaneously. Meaning the moment the thing starts affecting members, or any members for that matter, Ben would know due to how Wildmutt senses the surroundings. All Ben needs to deal with is how he'll communicate the information with the other crew members. Once Ben figures that out, all he needs to do is point the finger at the suspicious members and its reps. Keep in mind that even with all this counted, it's still unlikely that Ben will win, as the thing is also very intelligent and could use this to his advantage. So I give this scenario with a support. Scenario B, Wildmutt still have a problem dealing with the thing despite not worrying about the crew, since he still has all the aforementioned problems that we talked about in scenario A. However, he does have a chance, and that is the flamethrower in the Diamondhead, which he can easily detect with his senses. All he needs to do to reach the flamethrower or the dynamite, that's all he needs to do. Now, of course, there's going to be a problem considering that, in fact, it won't be a problem. This would actually be easy for him, because Wildmutt can sense the thing at all times, so it makes it nearly impossible for him to jump. The only problem is if he ever encounters the thing, he will have a trouble time dodging his attacks and evading, since most of the station is kind of cramped, and if he gets one hit or bite, not to mention his fur could be a detriment to his survival. If he gets one cell on him, it's over. But as long as Ben gets the flamethrower or the dynamite, he'll have a chance to win. So I actually give scenario B likely to win. Now scenario C is plain and simple, he loses. There's nothing he can do, unfortunately. Scenario A, win. Diamondhead would, like Heatblast, beat the thing with ease because of the two factors. One, he's a silicon-based life form, and two, he has the ability to control diamonds, which can be used to encase this thing into a giant crystal prison. Now for factor 1, I don't know. Now this is not confirmed as far as I know, either by John Carpenter or by the crew that worked on the film in any interview. But in the prequels, it is confirmed that the thing cannot assimilate any inorganic components from a person.
A way to eliminate some of us.
So I'm gonna get killed because I floss.
Nobody's getting killed.
Such as clothing, eye piercings, or tattoos. And of course, even though Diamondhead is a living organism, he is an inorganic, silicon-based creature, basically fundamentally different from our own. So technically, he could be immune to the thing's assimilation, just like Heatblast, but for a different reason altogether. And of course, we have combined that with the controlling of crystals, which are something that I'm pretty sure that the thing cannot pierce to at all, and he can, of course, Diamondhead can manipulate the environment, making this a pretty easy capture. All he needs to do is encase him in crystals, and he can do whatever he wants with the thing, like encase it down to the center of the earth, put it back where it came from, or just simply take it to the sun where it burns up forever. It's an easy win for both, not only A, but also C and B. Moving on. Yeah, just a reminder that Diamondhead is objectively a better alien than your favorite alien, and he's not even my favorite. That's just a fact. Accelerate. Accelerate speed and reaction should make it almost impossible to get jumped by the thing at first. However, Accelerate could get ambushed by an imposter if he lets his guard down. And again, the thing is an intelligent being, so it's possible for the thing to be patient enough to attack Ben at the right time. Other than that, Ben has more ways he could beat the thing than the thing could beat Ben. One way is for Ben to use his super speed to become invisible and spy on other crew members. He would then exchange the information to all the members to help deduce who's the thing. This punts Accelerate as a supportive role. Not only would it make it quicker to hunt down all the imposters, reducing casualties as a result, but it will also put the thing in a desperate position, making risky choices that could make it easier and faster for it to be spotted. However, this could go horribly wrong if Ben lets his guard down, which possibly get infected. However, keep in mind that if Ben does get infected, it's game over for all of humanity, because you don't want to think about a thing of fast Accelerate coming at you and infecting you without you even knowing that you've been infected. It's a crazy, scary thought. And another way Ben can easily win is to simply get the flamethrower himself, go to the thing during imposters, and torch the thing as it tries to simulate the crew. Oh, not like an easy win for Ben is that if he ever sees the thing attempting to simulate a crew member, he could literally go to the flamethrower, wear it, go back, torch the thing before the thing can even attempt on assimilating one of the crew members. Another way Ben could easily win is to use the blood test from the movie, except he would take blood samples of the crew without their consent because he would be too fast. Then all he needs to do is heat up with the flamethrower, which when you think about it, he won't even need to do that because his super speed could probably generate enough heat to make any object hot enough to be harmful for the thing. And once Ben finds out who's the thing, it's torching time. He torches them. It's like kill it with fire. Kill it with fire. You know that was never mentioned in the film or ever spoken in the film at all, which is weird because I always thought that came from the movie. Moving on. Scenario B. Win. I noticed that scenario B is just easy mode of scenario A and less interesting, but whatever. Accelerate got this in the bag either way. All he needs to do, find the thing, get the flamethrower, come back and torch the thing, and he's win. He can also, if it's too much for him, can easily escape. Scenario C. Scenario C is a straight up loss. Despite his speed, Accelerate does not have any efficient means of killing the thing. Even if Ben uses the air around him as a weapon, it still would not kill the thing on a cellular level. In fact, it would probably be against his favor because that would send the thing into airborne, where its cells would be all over the air. And at that point, if it covers a large enough space, Accelerate speed won't save him at all. So he wouldn't have any other way to go and get affected. It's just too dangerous to even get close to the thing, even with super speed. So unfortunately, it's a loss for him. Gray matter. Scenario A. Support. Now, due to his size, gray matter can only be used as support. However, he's really good at being support if you think about it. But what I found interesting about this scenario has to do with one of the themes of the movie, and that is in the movie, every scientists in the movie were either outsmarted or taken out first by the thing. Well, it's possible that Blair was one of the early affected because of his introspection of the corpse. Fritz has killed himself, and Copper got his arms ripped out and got killed. It's only McCready that kept the thing on its toes, or spider legs for that matter. McCready being self-absorbed in his thinking, while the scientific crew members were logical, trying to understand something that cannot be understood. Because the thing, when you think about it, is not something to be compatible with any ecosystem. It's almost Lovecraftian in a sense, almost evil incarnate that was given DNA, like something of a sick experiment developed by Satan himself. I'm getting too dramatic, but you get the picture. McCready doesn't think like this. What he considers isn't what is the thing, it's who is the thing, and that's why he's able to succeed as far as he did. Now, sorry for the tangent. This is something I learned from reading the article about Thing by old movie YouTuber about the nature of the thing, which I'll link into the description. Anyways, despite this, Gray Matter is so smart, like very smart, that could probably deduce the thing just by a mere glance, and probably develop a more effective method than discovering who's the thing than the blood tests found in the film, than the blood tests made in the film. And don't get me started what he can do with the flamethrower. He could probably just make it automatic and track the thing down by itself, and they wouldn't have to do anything. Now, due to his size, he's gonna need help with all this stuff to be able to tinker around with machinery, as well as gaining trust by the other crew members. And trust is an important thing in the movie, as everyone who watches the movie can understand. And it is possible that the thing, despite not being smart as Gray Matter, could still pull a fast one on him and assimilate him very quickly due to his small size. But regardless, I think Gray Matter, despite being so powerless, could still help the crew members defeat the thing very fast and efficiently. Now, scenario B would be a draw. Gray Matter may be defenseless on his own, but Gray Matter is shown constantly throughout the show to do one thing, and one thing well: escaping. The guy is basically Jerry of the Ben 10 universe, and I can see Gray Matter is surviving long enough to develop tools he needs to destroy the thing. Even if the thing gets the equipment first, Gray Matter can use the scrap to make even a better weapon as against the thing. So if the thing knows about this, the thing can simply split itself apart, not only to cover more ground, but to guard the equipment Gray Matter can use to kill it, as well as go on an offensive. That would put Gray Matter at a disadvantage. Though regardless, the thing is cooked if Gray Matter gets his hand on any equipment, so I can see this going either way. Scenario C is simply a loss. Don't even explain myself. Nothing to do in the situation. Moving on. Forearms. Scenario A, likely to lose. Forearms is known for its incredible strength, being able to take on almost any opponent Ben has ever faced, unless it's ones that he can't punch his way out of or is simply stronger than him. Even then, it's not without a weakness that he can exploit to get the advantage on his enemies. However, the thing is one of those opponents where he can't punch his way out of. Pretty clear from the movie that Forearms' strength is not going to be effective against the thing, being able to split apart and merging down to a cellular level. With what we discussed so far, long-range assault seems to be one of the advantages you can have against a thing, though guns are ineffective. So Ben can use shockwaves, blasts to damage the thing, but it's most likely going to cause way too much damage to the station itself and kill a lot of people unintentionally. Not to mention the destruction could be a nice distraction for the thing to get close and assimilate him. His only hope is if he gets the flamethrower or dynamite, which given his capabilities is something he can definitely use efficiently and effectively. However, there's only one problem. He's big, a little too big, and will probably struggle to move around the station. Now, that may seem inconsequential, but given that the entire movie takes place in cramped rooms and move around the station, this would not give him much options for movement, and just gives the thing even more room and opportunities to assimilate him. Now, Ben is not dumb. He will not let something as simple as any crew members to get close on him if he finds a hint of suspicion. However, this brings up a problem. His big size is that it can make him such a big target. But another situation that could be a problem for Ben is if the thing simply fight him head on, and whether Ben will win or not depends on one simple question: is the thing capable of piercing through Ben's skin? We know that the thing is capable of shapeshifting into anything like shark claws, mouth. It will likely use those to attack forms, since I think it wouldn't think it could beat forms with sheer force, so it's gotta be strategic. Of course, Ben's not gonna let the thing attack him, and I can see Ben managing to fight off from a distance. But let's say it did reach Ben. Could the thing be able to do any sort of harm to Ben? Unlikely, since throughout the classic continuity, Forearms has been able to take slashes from Malwell, who I can confidently say is stronger than the thing in terms of sheer capabilities and power, and Ben barely felt anything. However, this may seem far-fetched, but I think Ben could lose simply by having the thing bite on him close, and the bite would not be his downfall, but it would be the saliva, the organic fluids dripping out the mouth of the thing, or his various mouths, or just simply squirting organic fluid. That doesn't even be acid, just fluids to spray at Forearms will be enough for the thing to get assimilation on him. Because as long as it gets the cells make contact with Forearms, it could just simply simulate the cells individually. And there's nothing that Ben can do, no matter how hard his skin is, because it's acting on cellular level. I don't think Forearms has that any sort of protection. Advantage that the thing has is simply split itself apart and attack Ben through sheer numbers. And I could just give the thing even more opportunities to affect him even more. So I don't see Forearms actually winning this one, even in the battle of wits or a battle of strength or any other battle, other than the fact that Forearms can use a flamethrower and I could see him gain a win. Forearms just loses. So scenario B is a likely win for him, mostly because he doesn't have to worry about the crew like accelerate, and what's more is that he'll probably have a good enough distance to think about his plans, think about next course of action. If he's near the flamethrower or dynamite, he could go all out on the building. In fact, it'll be so easy for him to cause so much mayhem and destruction that the thing would just get overwhelmed by the sheer amount of destruction that will probably be covered in flames. Short form is also resilient to fire and high temperatures, so he doesn't need to worry about being Antarctic and being caught in fire. If he's not close to the flamethrower, then he will have a problem. Form's size is again a disadvantage against the thing. If the thing acts strategically and attacks him through small pieces of itself, but Forms won't have difficulty moving anymore since he doesn't have to worry about the crew members. He can simply just destroy his way through the station, destroy everything in front of him, and go straight to the dynamite or flamethrower. And then again, Ben will still have to worry about the thing splitting himself, moving in blind spots of Forms, and moving in blind spots and sneak attacking him all around. But regardless, I think it would be easier for him to get the win on the thing, so I give him a likely win. Now scenario C is very simple, he loses. Moving on. Stinkfly. Scenario A, support. This doesn't look good for Stinkfly because of the fact that the thing just keeps on transforming to like insects, so I'm getting a feeling that the thing has something for insects. I don't know, man. Like it literally came to Earth as a form as an insect alien. It really likes insects. Now, Stinkfly can fly in the air, could slow down the thing with his what do you call those? Slime projection. Slime projection. However, it's not enough to eliminate it, of course. That is, unless he ignites it. Because we all know that Stinkfly has control over his slime and his properties, that he can alter it to be flammable. And with that information, all he needs to do, ignite the slime, cover the thing with slime, ignite the slime, and it'll blow up. And what will he do? He's in a station with a bunch of equipment designed to ignite stuff, so he's got plenty of options. So this might be a good thing. This might be to Stinkfly's advantage. In fact, with Stinkfly slime, the crew probably won't even need a flamethrower. All you need to do is just spray the thing, an imposter, with slime, which can also incapacitate the thing either way. The crew members can simply light a match at the slime and it'll be donezo with the thing. In fact, you can go even further with Stinkfly being able to produce gas, which is an ability that 4-year-old Stinkfly was able to do when it used it against to kill those mutated plants. Now, I don't know if it's confirmed that Stinkfly still has the ability. However, if Stinkfly does produce organic odor, strong odor because of the slime or the oils that it produces in its joints, so I still think that's possible for him to do. And if he can manipulate the gas to be flammable, then it's even more one-sided. Though he has to worry about the crew, so he's not gonna use that. Not gonna use that often. He'll use that sparingly. Either way, I can see Stinkfly as support because he still needs to. Actually, you know what? No, he gets a win. He's likely to win. He gets likely to win. Not win, because again, the thing with all its advantages could be a problem for Stinkfly, but it's still a win. I'll just scratch that. Now, all Stinkfly needs to do is find who's the thing. One strategy Ben could do is to gather all the members, trap them in slime very quickly, something he could do easily, and just take blood samples from afar, or just take the blood samples and reveal who's infected with the flamethrower, which I think Stinkfly can operate. And because, you know, it's encased in slime, I don't see much. Once Ben knows who's who, all he needs to do is light a match and ignite the slime of the imposter, and it's donezo for the thing. However, we know Stinkfly's advantages, his strategies. Now let's talk about his disadvantages, and his disadvantages is his autonomy. His body is not designed to physically run or be mobile like a human. In fact, he mostly relies his wings to operate, and that's a big problem because he's in a tight room. There's gonna be a lot of tight rooms, which doesn't give him much space for him to fly around. So if the thing figures this out and just straight up just attacks Ben, gets Ben in the situation where it's just him thing, it'll be very difficult for him to even survive his onslaught if Ben's put in a situation where he's on defensive. It could be, again, this is like if Ben makes one wrong move, it's over. So he has to think fast in a situation like this. Either way, it's a likely win for Stinkfly, which now we'll move on to scenario B. Likely to win. Scenario B, likely to win. Scenario B, Ben will quickly realize that his wings will freeze up into Arctic. So obviously he can't escape, and he's not gonna look for outside as a way to traverse. So he needs to find and kill the thing as fast as possible. Due to the tight hallways and rooms, he will have to be alert full on of the thing, which now that I think about it, will likely split itself to track down Ben. Scenario B is getting redundant, not my best in terms of thinking of situations. I've never done this before, so whatever. However, the thing will attack him as a single entity if it realizes that Stinkfly's moving eyes keeps him from getting ambushed. Ben will likely not go find the flamethrower since it will actually slow him down, and with his powers that we explained before, he won't need it to kill the thing. All he needs to do is just a stick of dynamite. In fact, once I think about it, you could just simply gas the entire room, go outside, because he gases the entire station, throw dynamite into the gas, and just blow the station. Granted, Ben would likely die, but so would the thing. So it's either a draw or a win. So I give it a likely win. And scenario C, now Ben's victory hinges on the fact of whether the alloy that the cube is made of creates sparks when scratched against the surface. Now I made this cube up, so I'm gonna say it's a non-metallic alloy, but it has some properties of metallic alloys. So in that case, Ben could gas up the thing, ignite sparks onto the cube, and blow the thing up. Stinkfly wins. Moving on. Oh, Ripjaws. We all know where this is going. This won't be long. Scenario A, he's useless. In fact, in scenario B and C is also useless. Not only can he not survive on land, but the device that can be used to effectively kill the thing can also kill Ripjaws. In fact, you'll probably die from using the flamethrower, and although the stick of dynamite can do the trick, either way, that would be less efficient than the flamethrower. And considering they still needs water, and if things start heating up, he's gonna die from the heat itself. So either way, it's a lose-lose situation. He loses in all of them. I'm not gonna go over scenario B or C. Ripjaws. Rest in peace, Ripjaws. Ripjaws. Upgrade. Scenario A. Upgrade would likely use his electricity to at least damage the thing, since electricity could damage cells, as shown in the original short story, that they were able to use electricity to kill the thing as an effective weapon. Upgrade's physiology and shape-shifting abilities could provide some sort of resistance to the thing's affection, like he could split off effective pieces. Actually, once I looked it up, and it turns out Upgrade is also an inorganic species. He's actually immune. Make this even easier, I haven't even gotten to the fact that his shape-shifting abilities is superior to the thing, because ignoring the pickles first, even with the pickles, one thing is consistent in all of it, is that the thing needs time to shapeshift. You cannot do so freely, especially in the original movie, while Upgrade is like literally a liquid organism that does it constantly and effortlessly. And I've not even gotten to the fact that Upgrade can manipulate technology, and he's in a room, he's gonna be in a place full of technology. In fact, there are like wires, lamps, and electricity that goes on through the room. For starters, Upgrade can mimic technological weaponry, although that's debatable in of itself, whether that be guns, bombs, or tools, some of them probably being electrical. This is all route leading to absorb or merge with technology. Probably can do this on his own, but when he absorbs technology, that just gives Ben so many options, as Ben could merge and upgrade the flamethrower, making it even more effective at being a weapon against the thing. Of course, that's not what matters most, it's finding the thing. In that case, it's possible for Upgrade to develop and modify the technology he's emerged with to detect the thing, as we constantly see throughout the series that Upgrade can modify and, no pun intended, upgrade existing technologies far beyond what they're capable of to fit the situation he's in. A perfect example is from Omnibus in the episode Automotive, where he transforms Kevin's car into a giant Gundam robot. So, Upgrade stomps. Now, scenario B is a win. Nothing changes in scenario B. He's a shotgun, no. Simply, Upgrade can transport through the entire station via electrical currents within the wires of the building. And once he finds the flamethrower, he can simply upgrade the machine and torch the thing. It's like a Terminator. It's like a Terminator against the thing. In fact, he doesn't even need the flamethrower to do that. I said before, he could mimic technology to amplify his electrical abilities, or just use any machinery in the area to kill the thing. And scenario C is also a likely win. Even without the technology, Ben was still able to defeat the thing through his bioelectricity, as we discussed before. Yeah, I'm like, Upgrade is kind of a pretty cool alien, don't you think? Now, last but not least, Ghostfreak. Scenario A, support. Now, I think the biggest advantage Ghostfreak has against the Thing is that, like the Thing, he has consciousness inside every cell, which means he's immune against the Thing's assimilation process. However, because of this principle, I don't think it's possible for Ben to do the same thing against the Thing, or at the very least have difficulty doing so. However, he could use that to his advantage. If Ghostfreak or Ben, or maybe Ghostfreak, uses his possession ability on any of the crew members and you start feeling different, or sorry, to actually fight it, then you know who's infected. Another way Ben could use Ghostfreak's powers is simply turn invisible and spy on the crew member for intel, and simply inform the intel to trust the team members or teams Ben can trust, and they can rat out the Thing that way. Basically, Ghostfreak's biggest advantage is intel, patrolling the area freely without suspicion, and even evading people's minds. He's essentially the key onto defeating the Thing. Moving on to Scenario B. Scenario B is a win. You can phase through anything, so you can simply go to the dynamite and blow everything up, or use the flamethrower and find the Thing and blow it up. And lastly, Scenario C. And because Ghostfreak doesn't have any effective means to kill the Thing, and the Thing has no effective means to kill Ben, it's a draw. Thank you for watching my video. Leave a comment if I got anything wrong, and don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. Bye.